Okay, so this is our hyper one-phase board. As you can see, we have all the components laid out. Everything is labeled and in working order. Here is the microcontroller box. Here we have the load dump relay board. Here we have our contactors, our load dump, our voltage dividers, more of our voltage dividers, our main voltage regulator, our inverter, our breakers, our switches, our monitors, our breakers, the outlets, and of course the load, which we represent in these light bulbs. Okay, right now we are reading 50 or so, 49, 45. We're reading 45 volts from the generator. This is, of course, varied. You could go anywhere between 25 to 45. The first thing to do is to make sure that this is within the correct voltage range. So it must be between 20 and 65 volts. As we can see, we are within 45 volts. That is within a perfect range, and this is the range that you use in order to turn on your load. It requires 45 volts. So if I turn this on, which you do by double clicking, turning on the switch, turning on the breaker, you will see that the light bulb has indeed turned on. You will note that off camera, the voltage actually dropped a little because of the load. So thus you have to increase your voltage. Now let's turn this load off. Aid, could you turn off the load? Turn off the load. Okay. We will turn the breaker off. We will turn the switch off, and you can see that this actually increased, but we had to decrease it. So now we have our grid-tied inverter, and for that we will need to attach it to the grid. So we will be needing an outlet, which is provided down below. So, could you do the honors? So it's the same concept. You have your, again, same concept. You have your voltage regulator, except in this case now it is going to the grid-tied inverter. So I'm going to turn this guy on, turn it on. It works just fine.
Show the light.
You can see right here, if you put the camera over here, that little green blinking LED is an indication that it is indeed working. So, as you can see, the voltage has also reduced, so you would need to crank up the voltage just enough so that it stays within the acceptable range. There it is. And if we were to increase the voltage, we're using a 25 watt bulb, you can see that there was not too much of a change. But if we increase it to another 75 watt bulb, there it is. Okay, and you can see all the bulbs are alight. So the next thing to do is to just turn it off. Turn off the breaker. Okay, and then turn down the voltage. Until you reach to 0, and then you can turn everything off. And from there, that would be in the power down mode. You could keep it at 45 if you wanted to, and that would be if you wanted to eventually turn on the load again. But when you're in power off mode, you slowly turn everything off. So, okay, I think that is all.